Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Doctor Who Reviews, as we discuss Spyfall Part 2, because, Part 1 happened a few days ago, because that's how parts work in fiction. I'm whittling on here. So, just the one guest this week. I couldn't find Kat. She appears to have disappeared. It's strange. No idea what happened to her there. But I am joined by my other usual guest. To my virtual left, he has a license to shill. It's FreezingInferno.
He fucked it up!
That's a matter of opinion.
Yes, you're right. It is a matter of opinion. And over the next hour, we will discuss the nuanced opinion that he fucked it up.
I knew that was coming. Oh, Kat's going to be so disappointed in you whenever she gets back.
Let's be real, Rainiac. Kat's been disappointed in me for years.
Oh, burn. On yourself, in fact. Yeah, so we were all hoping he wouldn't mess it up. After the good impression that Part 1 left, by and large. And he kind of did, and he kind of didn't, depending on who you talk to.
I'm curious about your thoughts.
Well, basically, I think you're going to be the devil on the shoulder, and I'm going to be the angel. But I do have criticisms of it.
And I have praises of it, so this should be a nice little...
It wasn't as good as Part 1. Let's just get that out of the way right now.
Absolutely not.
And Part 1, well, that was a Bond homage. This, very much not a Bond homage.
This is like a kitchen sink approach, almost.
Yes. And we start with the resolution to the big cliffhanger from last time out. I thought this was very Moffat-y in execution, actually.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, literally the bit with the Doctor on the view screen and Graham talking back to her and the Doctor talking back to him. That's Blink.
Is Blink.
That's just Blink. That's just Blink.
Yeah.
But the general, cliffhanger resolution, off the top of my head, I can't think of a Moffat episode that actively did something so Bill and Ted.
It is very Bill and Ted.
It's absolutely Bill and Ted. It's literally, hang on, we'll assume that I'm going to survive, and then I'll just set up, and I'll go back in time after I survive, and set up everything to help me survive.
Yeah. Bootstrap paradox.
Yeah. Except, it's not, over-signified to make that the entire twist of the episode before the flood.
Yeah, he doesn't...
Sorry.
He doesn't spell it out, which is good. It's not used to basically the entire episode around it, which is better. It's just used once at the beginning and once at the ending for a rather funny visual gag.
It's funny, yeah, like the ending when they finally reunite and they're like, Doctor, how did you save us from that plane? I saved you from the plane? Oh, shit!
Yeah.
We gotta go!
There was also a very funny alternative ending to this episode on Twitter. Where they're in the hang and it's her and Ada and Noor, who we'll talk about later, but Graham says, "Are we being replaced, Doctor?" And then it just says, "Come on!" They run away and leave them in the hangar.
Roll credits.
Yes!
Was that a Pip Madley?
I don't think it was a Pip Madley, no.
Huh.
I can't remember who it was, but it was very funny.
It was good.
This community are great at things like that.
I saw a pretty good, silly one involving the car scene from Spyfall 1. It's like, I'm Stephen Fry. I was supposed to bring you idiots to my headquarters.
Speaking of Pip, though, I didn't get to mention this on Monday when we recorded, because I just forgot about it, but there was a brilliant little extra thing. The sign language interpreter guy. The Spyfall Part 1. The scene where O reveals himself to be the Master, and the guy pretty much acts it out as he's doing the signing. It's brilliant.
Oh, that's great.
Like when he says, "You've got me," the guy just smiling like he's evil. It's brilliant.
That's actually pretty good.
I might link that in the description because it deserves to be watched by a lot of people.
Hell yeah. Well, now you have a point when you're editing to remember that.
Yeah, well, we've covered part one already, so let's get back into part two. So we've had the resolution to the cliffhanger. By the way, I thought last week that the resolution was going to be the spy toys. They would use the spy toys to escape the plane. They're used in a different way.
Oh yeah,
which actually is quite good, but we're not quite there yet. So the Doctor is still stranded in the Hell Dimension, or whatever you want to call it. But then she's rescued by our first new guest star, Ada Lovelace.
See, I had no idea this was a historical figure. I don't know if you knew, because, well, British history and all that.
I knew vaguely who she was. Chibnall does this weird thing where he tries to sort of hide her real identity for a while because he calls her Ada Gordon.
Yeah.
But she was never known as Ada Gordon.
That actually reminds me of I was reading a book. There's a series of books called The Black Archive, where they're short books of critical analysis about single Doctor Who stories.
Yeah.
And I was reading one on Time Lash, which is a really bad Colin Baker era story.
Yeah.
But he teams up with a historical figure from like 1885 named Herbert. His name's Herbert, and it turns out it was actually H.G. Wells the entire time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the feeling that's kind of what I thought of when you said that. Oh, they kind of hide her for a bit, and then the reveal's like, oh, surprise, it was someone from history.
But the reveal doesn't really do anything. There's no reason to hide the fact she's a Byron.
Other than to give
he preserves the mystery for about 5 minutes.
I don't know.
Just call her Ada. I mean, that's what the Doctor does when she throws the grenade to fend off the Master in the exhibition. She says, "Don't have a TARDIS, do have an Ada."
I like Ada.
I like Ada as well. Yeah, she is very much the better of the two guest companions
because she does stuff well.
I think Sylvie Briggs does a really good job portraying her. It probably helps that I don't know too much about the real Ada Lovelace.
Neither do I, so you're fine.
I know that she was the daughter of Lord Byron, and she died at the age of 36 of some sort of cancer. She was a big factor in The Difference Engine by Charles Babbage. Working.
Who also shows up?
Yeah, and he doesn't do as well with the script. His part's paper thin, and he's portrayed as a casual sexist. Great,
thanks.
Wonderful. Thanks for that. Thanks, I hate it. Right.
God.
But yeah, it is strange how he doesn't immediately identify her as Ada Byron. She's Ada Gordon, but that was never her name. Gordon's her father's middle name. So he obviously knows about the real life person. He's obviously done his homework.
I just hope so.
He just invents this weird. He just invents this very weird maiden name for her because it's a year before she gets married. She gets married. This is set in 1834, and she married William Noel King in 1835, and then took the name Lovelace from him because he was the Earl of Lovelace. So she became Ada Lovelace. Speaking of Lord Byron, by the way, he's a fascinating figure in history, and I would love to see him pop up in a Doctor Who story one day. You're going to tell me it's already been finished now, haven't you?
Probably. I don't know.
Which historical figure hasn't turned up in Big Finish, to be fair?
God. Who knows?
I thought she did a really good job. She's brave, she's intelligent, she's never seen as a damsel in distress. She's the perfect companion in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, so it's interesting she's put into that position of being a temporary companion. How she gets out of that position, I'm not such a big fan of, but we'll get to that.
Are we going to hit this now, or are we going to wait?
I felt the cringe all the way here up in Blackpool. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
The earth just moved, you cringe so hard.
Oh,
well, Ada and the Doctor turn up in this exhibition. There's a really nice bit about the Doctor being the marvellous apparating man that she remembers, lady. The marvellous apparating lady.
Gosh.
I like that. That's not being sexist. That's using the fact she's changed genders to good effect. it's not just lore woman now. It's actually used for a purpose.
I suppose I haven't seen that many people be like upset about that joke because there's more to be upset about in this episode.
But never mind that shit. Here comes the Master.
Okay, his entrance is wild though. You know, he's got the goddamn top hat.
Oh,
He's
I love his entrance. Like
ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna fucking kill all
like
you.
he's a goddamn carnival barker. It's great. Introducing the incredible shrinking device. Want to be smaller? You can.
God.
He is just great in this episode again.
And you do have that.
I get that he's quite cartoony,
strange
and
thing.
some people didn't like the fact he's cartoony. I don't mind it. I like this version of the Master.
I can deal with cartoon.
He's cruel, he's immoral, he gets a buzz in his heart every time he kills somebody.
Now, see that line. It feels like just to throw away a little bit of fluff, but it also could double as Chibnall's explanation for why the Master is bad again. Like, being bad is like an addiction, a high for the Master.
He does offer another explanation for why the Master might have turned evil again if he's after Missy.
What's that one?
Well, that's later in the episode. That's towards the end of the episode.
Okay,
you might not have considered it's an explanation, but I think it is an explanation.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, and another thing I like is that the tissue compression eliminator gets the classic sound effect.
Does?
Yeah, thumbs up for that. Apparently, it's the one they used in either the late 70s or the 80s. It's either the exact same sound effect, or it's been made to sound very, very similar to it.
Well then.
And also him bullying and then murdering that poor extra. Did you just move? Did you just move? My mistake, Zapster anyway.
God. Which is kind of an echo.
Yeah.
Mirror, if you will, of say something nice.
Yeah. It's a twisted mirror of it, though.
Doctor Who mirror alert.
Can I just say that word now without you bringing that up?
We gotta have a Doctor Who mirror alert once an episode. It's contract.
No, we don't!
Yes, we do.
You have to have one, I don't.
Have you looked at the contract?
I knew that small print was important for some reason. Right. Other things to note about this scene, because the Doctor and the Master have two major confrontations.
Mm-hmm.
I think I prefer... Well, I think in terms of not being as I hate to say this word, but problematic, I prefer the first encounter.
That's absolutely why I prefer the first encounter too. It's not nearly as problematic. I'll say
a woman kneeling to a man and calling him master. Oof.
That's what is that? Chibnall, what is that? Is that like?
Well, I think this is him upsetting people that really don't need to be upset because he is a man, she is a woman. I mean, what are you going to do? Okay. He has to have that moment where he thinks he's on top. And then he gets shot by Ada.
Hell yeah, Ada.
Yay, Ada. Another thing of interest is that the Doctor notes that the Master is not in control of the Kasavin. Mm-hmm. He's working with them, he's not actually in charge of them. That becomes important for the ending. It's a nice bit of foreshadowing. And his costume, the actor actually had significant input, he revealed online, over his costume.
Oh?
Yeah, he sent a number of concepts to the... I can't think of the man's name off the top of my head, but he sent a number of concepts to the designer, and the designer came up with something, and Dewan was really, really happy with it.
Well, that's good for him.
Yeah. I do think that when the actors get a bit of leeway and a bit of input over what's happening on the screen, it tends to work out for the better.
Absolutely.
I mean, Jenna Coleman got some input over the way her character ended the show.
Hell yeah.
Yaz apparently got some... Sorry, not Yaz. Mandip Gill. I'm always doing that. I'm saying the name of the actor for the person, the name of the person for the character, the name of the character for the actor. Mandip Gill apparently this year has some input in her character's direction.
Some input. I'm finding that funny. She's just in Chris Chibnall's office. Now listen to me. You give me a character this season.
Hey, Chris, could you actually give me a few lines this time around? That'd be great.
Can I, have a motivation in the scene, please?
You just reminded me of Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
God.
There's an outtake where Jango Fett asks, "What's my motivation?"
God.
You're a bounty hunter. You hunt bounties. Okay, I've got it, but who's the bounty? Does it matter? We'll add him in later. CGI. Use your imagination. Do I have any dialogue? Nope, you're a bounty hunter. You don't need dialogue.
Oh my God.
It's great. That's a great little game. But it has outtakes. That's one of them. But you can probably find them online if you search Star Wars Bounty Hunter outtakes. But yeah, I like this scene. But we have this weird comparison. We have this bit where the Doctor is stranded in time with Ada. Meanwhile, the companions are over chasing the other villain of the episode, Daniel Barton. I have to say, I think Lenny Henry got more to work with here than part one. When I said, I'm worried to be lost in the shuffle, I wasn't being right, was I, really?
No, not really.
And we have this bit where the group are wanted by the authorities and the villain tells them that directly. Sound the drums, anybody?
Oh, hell yeah, very much.
Sorry, the sound of drums?
Yeah.
Where Ten, Martha and Jack are told your public enemies 1, 2, and 3? It's just a shame that the companions, that the regular companions, not Ada and Noor, are pretty much peripheral here. I mean, you could take them out of the story completely, apart from the plane, and you wouldn't actually lose anything.
Yeah, that makes sense. They basically just are on the run. They have a few escapades. They end up in the bunker at the end, and then the Doctor's like, hey! Yeah,
they have the funniest moment of the episode as well.
Oh, God.
2 words, laser shoe.
Laser shoes. Oh, Graham's laser shoes.
Bradley Walsh is just funny. He's just naturally funny.
I think I also love the bit where after they capture and subdue Barton's guys, Ryan is like, now we got your phones, and now we're going to go here, and then we're going to do your thing. Don't tell them the plan!
That's so relatable, though.
God.
As somebody who themselves is dyspraxic, that's very relatable.
Giving away the plan is dyspraxic.
Well, not giving away the plan, but sort of just like saying what's on your mind without thinking it through first.
Oh, okay. I gotta see what you mean.
I've already gone into what dyspraxia is earlier in our podcast. I don't need to do it again. But yeah, lads, don't make me do the old soft shoe shuffle. What a
Even
good
though
line.
their roles are kind of like superfluous, they don't really add much to the plot. It's still funny.
They don't add much to the plot, but Graham does get some funny moments to compensate. He got one that we forgot to mention in part one. It's like, worst Uber ever.
Also, the scene where they're holed up and they're talking about the Doctor and how they don't even know who she is or any of that stuff is
it's quite nice.
And is probably leading into other stuff this season.
It's underdeveloped, unfortunately. Maybe we'll revisit it, but
it's Chris Chibnall. I have my doubts.
One of my major problems with the second part of Spyfall, is that too much went unexplained or underexplained. It's far more egregious later on, but this is just one example of it. Yes, it says, all right, we'll carry on the Doctor's work even if she doesn't come back, but don't worry, she is coming back. And that's basically it. That's where we leave it.
See, the episode, I feel, is like, it's like a roller coaster, a big theme park ride. You're just watching and you're getting from one big exciting moment to the other. And it's like, ooh, this is exciting. I wonder where this is going to go next. Wow, where is this episode going? I mean, it's jumping from Ada to the companion, and then to the second historical figure we'll talk about in a bit. and more stuff for the Master, and then all the grand plan with the Kassavan and Barton, and then the ending with its twists. It's like a weird, wild ride that keeps you guessing. And that would be great, except we're the Doctor Who critics who have to sit here and think about it after the fact and go, hey, wait a minute, what?
There's a common misconception, isn't there, that the phrase when you say something's all over the place, it's automatically a negative. It doesn't have to be.
No.
Unfortunately, this is all over the place in the wrong sense, in the negative sense of the word.
Yeah, I can't think of off the top of my head. The Moffat era sometimes did stuff like this that was all over the place. Off the top of my head, Let's Kill Hitler is kind of like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like... And it's not the greatest Moffat episode, but I'd call it better than Spyfall.
Let's Kill Hitler?
I would call it better than Spyfall overall.
I don't think it's better than part 1, but I think on the whole, yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Part 2 specifically, yeah. Part 1, I'm not sure. That'd be a fight, but I don't really need to fight for it. But, there's other similarities that Let's Kill Hitler has to Spyfall Part 2.
No, you mean the Nazis?
I mean the Nazis!
Oh, God. Before actually we get to the Nazis and Paris 1943, actually, there is one scene we have to talk about involving Daniel Barton.
I tried to make a nice segue.
No, it's okay. We'll go back to that. You've laid it out there, it's fine, but we've got to mention this scene because it's so funny. It wasn't meant to be funny.
Are we talking about the scene with his mom?
It's the bit where he has his mom tied up in the hanger.
What the fuck?
That wasn't meant to be funny because he kidnaps his mother and then has the aliens murder her. But it's the woman's face.
What?
That face is going to be a meme for months to come.
Oh, God.
Pip and the others are already rubbing their hands with glee, thinking we can use this for weeks and people won't get fed up with it.
Jesus.
Episode that wasn't very good. Post a picture of Barton's mother.
Oh, no. God.
My reaction when this happened, Barton's mother.
Oh, God.
I don't know who the actress is, but she didn't look very happy about being employed in this role.
God.
And I think this is one of the cases where him not explaining everything actually works to his benefit, because we don't know why Barton hates his mother, and presumably vice versa.
They give you just enough.
Yeah, he wanted her to be the first victim.
Yeah,
because he's such a considerate son.
He's just being petty and evil. That's enough.
I guess. Right, we'll go back to the excellent segue. So, the Nazis, the Nazis, 1943 Paris.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go with the Nazis.
Fuck.
It's impressive I have to actually specify these are the wartime Nazis as well.
This not the Nazis we have on the go, like German Nazis.
Yeah, like the actual historical Nazis.
Mm.
And it leads to our second guest star of the episode. Well, new guest star. Obviously, Lenny Henry doesn't count. Newly introduced, Aurora Marion playing Noor Inayat Khan.
Now, see, this... I was talking to someone today, having a discussion with this, and I think the inclusion of this character, it is part of the whole all-over-the-place kitchen sink approach, like... Chibnall's just like going wild and creating this wild ride. And then Noor Inayat Khan in Nazi occupied Paris. But like, here's the thing. She's very good in the role, if not a little underutilized compared to Ada, say. But I think, and I'm not alone in this, a lot of people criticizing Spyfall 2 have said this, and it should be brought up in the interest of fairness. Including her kind of introduces more bad choices than good ones.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's fair.
Like, there are at least two big ones, big critiques I have for this episode that come about pretty much entirely because the episode decides, hey, little diversion in Nazi-occupied Paris with Khan.
Yeah.
But her herself, she's fine.
She does fine for what she's given to work with.
I think the best moment she has for me, arguably, is the opening scene there where the Doctor and Ada are hiding in the house, and the Master and the Nazis come on in, looking for them, shooting the floor. And there's that scene where the Master stares her down, and she's just staring right back before she looks away.
No fear.
It's like, I don't give a fuck.
Unfortunately, that's about the only thing she does of note.
Well, that and actually, the Doctor.
Yeah, I mean, the actress did fine with what she was given, but the problem is she was only given table scraps.
Yeah, that's a recurring problem with Chibnall.
I'm not even sure why Chibnall included her in this particular episode. I mean, the whole plot of the Kasavin is about computing and computers and historical figures from across time associated with computers. Knowing that Khan was not associated with computers at all.
Well, here's one thought, possibly. She's technically a spy.
She is a spy.
So it's like trying to tie back to part one, spy thing, but at this point in part two, you kind of moved away from the whole spy thing.
Which would be fine if there was some dialogue to explain that, the Kasavin have been monitoring spies from across the time and computer people.
Well, I mean, there's the implication that they had spies in part one.
Yeah, I mean, they are introduced as alien spies.
But I think you are right. It would be better if they did tie the dialogue, because otherwise, I've got to conspiracy theory my way into time to why this possibly is.
Well, I think she's included because Chibnall wanted to include 1943 Paris.
Yeah, that makes sense too. Like I say, it's just all part of the roller coaster ride.
But is that really the right way to introduce an historical character? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. And that's mostly because of the bad choices Chibnall makes because he added Khan to the episode.
Yeah, there's two big oof moments.
And we do have to bring them up. I don't know if you believe, but there's been enough talk about them that we can't not.
No, we have to bring up the bad and the good. It's the only fair way of doing it.
I mean, I praised a couple of things. I praised the Bill and Ted thing and Ada. So it's not a complete... This isn't the worst episode. This is not Battle of Ranskor bad.
No.
It's if I said in my review, if Spyfall is a 7, this is a 6, maybe a 5 in quality.
Yeah.
It's a step down, but it was a good ride. The problem comes when you think about it after the fact.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
No, you're right. You're right. I think
when I was more Moffat critical, before I really started writing about the stuff and being actually, when you think about it like this, Moffat did a clever thing. That's what Moffat episodes felt like to me. It's hey, this was a wild ride. Wait a minute, half of this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I think another reason why Noor might be in this episode is so that Chibnall can include a second brave historical female person. Which would be fine if she did more if she actually did more in the episode.
You could I don't know. There's God. I can't think of it. Here's something off the top of my head, but there is I forget her name, but she was one of the coders for Apollo 11 at NASA.
Are you talking about the woman that's featured in the Hollywood film about the black programmers at NASA?
Yeah, maybe I might be thinking of someone else, but something like that, famous historical figure who's into computing.
Yeah.
That would be a thematic choice.
I
unless
forget her name, but there was a woman who worked with Alan Turing.
There you go.
She's played by Keira Knightley, I think, in the film. I always get these films confused. I always get the one with Stephen Hawking and Alan Turing confused.
Mm-hmm. I don't know it off the top of my head. I can't.
It's the something of something, but
flash it on the screen.
Yeah.
After you think about it.
So, unfortunately, there's a couple of bad decisions that Chibnall makes.
Namely, having the Master work with the actual Nazis, like the actual historical Nazis. It's a little.
If you're going to include 1943 Paris, you have to include the Nazis. Because they were everywhere.
That's something.
But yes, that is misstep number one. I completely agree with you.
It's a little too real, I want to say. Like, on the one hand, you've got the Master, he's like this cartoon bad guy who works with the cartoon bad aliens. But, like, working with the actual historical bad guys of history, the worst fuckers imaginable, is like...
Not to mention, because of the insignia on his hat, it's a skull on his hat, he's impersonating an SS officer.
Oh, Jesus!
Yeah.
It just adds a little more of a nasty implication than I think Chibnall was intending. Like, he's not going out malicious. He's just making a wild ride. Ooh, and then the Nazi occupy Paris. But, like, when you sit down and really think about it, it's like, ugh.
I don't think he means any harm here. I don't think he's being actively malicious.
No, I don't think so either. More, is there a nicer way to say incompetence?
Misguided?
That works.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, we're not nearly as famous as Chris Chibnall or as prominent, but you and I have both had experiences of writing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm writing a book right now, but you do have moments where you include something, or you think to include something, and then you take a step back. You think, is that really appropriate? And then you decide yes or no.
I've done that, but then again, I was 20 when I did that, so...
Could he have gotten around it? I'm not sure. He does try to get around the whole elephant in the room of Dewan being Asian and working with the Nazis.
It's funny.
With the old perception filter.
It's wild. Like, when the episode was on, a cat, wherever she is, she said to me in DM, like, as the episode was airing, wait, how is he... I mean, he's not a white guy. How is he not... That explains the perception filter. And she's like, oh, okay, they explained it.
Yeah. Bringing back the perception filter is a way to explain it, but it doesn't make this choice any less awkward.
And that makes things even more awkward later.
He could have got away with it, maybe, if he'd included some dialogue where the Master says that he knows that they're terrible, but he's just working with them as a means to an end.
That might have mitigated it. I can't say for sure.
It probably wouldn't have mitigated it, but it would have been something. Rather than the nothing that we got.
So while we're on, like, the Master in Paris here, what was that other moment you were talking about?
The other one with Noor, her final scene in the episode.
No. I mean the thing with the Master and the explanation for why they became.
Oh no, that's not during the scenes in Paris.
Oh,
that's right at the end.
Oh,
it's in the big scene right at the end.
Okay, well,
I got gymnastics, but
I got something I want to bring up when we talk about
Oh, absolutely! I'm sure we'll be talking about that at length because it's a major part of things. But Noor's final scene is another oof moment or double oof. If you know what happened to the real Noor Inyat Khan,
I do now.
The Doctor telling her that the fascists never win is oh dear.
Why don't you tell the viewers for the sake of...
Well, you see, the fascists probably don't win. But Nora and Nick Khan didn't win either, because a year after this episode was set, she was executed by firing squad.
Yikes!
So that was a bit uncomfortable if you knew the history about that. It could have been even worse, however, because the actress has revealed online...
I can't
laugh
believe
about this. The episode has aired. We have to mention it because it's relevant.
I know it's relevant.
She actually shot another scene for Nor.
They actually shot.
Yes, they shot Nor. They shot a death scene for Nor in Khan.
I cannot believe.
And she's executed by firing squad.
I can't I will praise Chibnall for having the good sense not to put a scene where a historical figure is executed by the actual Nazis, an actual thing that really happened, on your children's time travel program. I will praise him for having the good sense not to do it. I will, however, also question why in the name of God it got all the way to being filmed.
Yeah. Did the scriptwriters not catch that?
Like, that's a pretty far way to go. I don't know how close it was to being in there and then getting cut for time or whatever. I don't know the editing, process there, but the fact that it got shot is just a tiny bit eyebrow-raising, you know?
I'm not in the film industry. I've not worked in the television industry before, but I do know that footage is often film that is left out.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it makes it into the DVD as deleted scenes. Sometimes, for example, in Star Wars, it's used in other ways where Carrie Fisher died. So to bring her back for the final film of that trilogy, they used unused footage from The Force Awakens.
Hey, everybody, guess what movie Rainiac went to see cinema between part 1 and part 2?
Yeah, and guess which movie I actually kind of enjoyed.
I haven't seen it yet.
It wasn't perfect. Well, I'm talking about it in vagaries. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
It wasn't perfect. It made one or two bad decisions, but it certainly wasn't the worst Star Wars film. But this is not a Star Wars podcast. So the point is, extra footage is often shot. There's a reason some of it ends up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, yeah. I mean,
also,
I don't know much about editing.
I just find it amazing that the script editor didn't think, Chris, maybe we shouldn't include this in the script?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And also, he or she, whoever it is, because I'm not aware of who it is. I think Kat mentioned it was a lady by name last time out, but I can't remember. I'm sorry. Did they not pull them on and say, yeah, about this bit with the masterwork with the Nazis, could you not?
Yeah, that's something.
I mean, maybe here's an idea that might have made it a little bit easier. Still a perception filter, but instead of being a Nazi SS commandant, he's a collaborator. There you go. I fixed it.
I don't know. I don't know how much that would fix.
He's a collaborator working with them who points out to shoot down the floorboards. There you go. Well, he's not wearing the SS uniform.
That is a fix. I'll give you that.
Because they were collaborators. I mean, I don't know they would actually intentionally tell the soldiers where to shoot, but, dramatic license.
Yeah, okay.
And that took me, 10 minutes to come up with?
There you go, see?
Yeah. So that's basically all I have to say about Nor, unfortunately. But we're not done with the Master and the Doctor. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We have this rather decent confrontation after the whole shooting the floorboards thing. They bring back the Rhythm of Four, being the heartbeat of the Time Lord.
This is just reference city, this part.
Yeah, Series 11, no law. Series 12, all the law. I do like the interplay between Dewan and Whittaker here, though.
He brought back contact.
Yes. Psychic contact.
Brought back contact.
And also Ultron Energy is mentioned.
And also the bit on the Eiffel Tower, which is a pretty funny line and a reference to the Fourth Doctor's final story.
Oh, yes.
Did I apologize for Jodra Bank? No? Good.
I like that. But we had him as this sort of full-on cartoon psychopath when he was 1834. Here, he's in a bit more of an introspective mood. He still wants to beat the Doctor. He still wants to have the Doctor killed. But they have this conversation about Gallifrey. And the Master drops this rather serious, in fact, this hugely significant revelation that Gallifrey's been destroyed again. And the Doctor doesn't believe him, and I think the audience didn't believe him at first.
We're going to have words on this when we get to that.
Yeah, it deserves its own separate discussion.
But he says it.
I think there's too much exposition in general in this episode, but there's definitely too much exposition in this scene. You could have cut it up. You could have had flashbacks to what he's talking about, like when he says, "I shot C in the back of the head with a Mangorian laser rifle, Mandrafian laser rifle, or something like that." Show him aiming the rifle while he's talking. You still got the exposition, but you've actually got something to focus on. It would have broken it up, and then we get oof moment number 3.
Oh, this is like in the moment. It seems in the moment. I will confess that I wasn't really thinking that. I was like sort of cruising on the fun ride. In the moment, it really just feels like a "I gotcha" bit. So that works then, but then you really start to think about it, and a lot of people, not just me, have thought about it and called this out. The Doctor, in turning off his perception filter and alerting the Nazis that the Master's a double agent, she's basically handing him over to the actual Nazis. And he's a brown man in Nazi-occupied Paris.
Yep.
And it's like, what? What the fuck?
Yep, that sure happened.
That sure happened. Like, he gets out of it, but the Doctor literally weaponized the Nazis against the Master.
Yeah.
There were ways you could have done this differently. You're showing the Master, like, getting out of it easier and whatever, but that's not really the point. The point is that Chibnall didn't think... I don't know if he didn't think this through, or he didn't care, but that's fucked up.
She doesn't need to turn the perception filter off.
Like, you're hesitant to say the word. I'll say the word. That is problematic as shit.
No, here I'm not hesitant to say it. I think first thing you do is she doesn't turn the perception filter off. Secondly, don't actually show the Nazis confronting him. Just have him like pounding on the door.
Yeah.
And him looking all panicked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he'll be fine. He's got a tissue compression device.
I mean, he's fine, as we see later in the episode.
Yeah.
But there is a line when he comes back where he says, "Oh, places I've had to escape from," which, taken with that, almost suggests that he was taken to a camp.
Oh, God, no.
If you think about it like that.
Did he say escape, or did he say the place I've had to hide?
Places I've had hides. Yeah. The Doctor made him a fugitive from the fucking... Not like... I know the Master's a bad guy now, but I thought the Doctor had a little more respect for...
Well, he was only a fugitive of the Nazis for 2 years.
Like, God, still, that's 2 years too many to be on the road.
And think about all that time. How infuriating it must have been for the Master, because all those times he could have gone... all the times he faced off against John Pertwee's Doctor and Tom Baker's Doctor, etc., etc. And going through all that time, from 1943 to the present day, he knows what he did wrong. He knows how he can fix it so that he wins, but he can't do it because that's changing a fixed point in time.
But, yeah, here's the thing. I didn't know we were going to talk about the Master's, 77-year waiting the long way around to get back to 2020.
Yeah.
But, I find it a little weird. I found it a little weird that in 77 years, history didn't get fucked up. I mean, you could say web of time, history, all that, but it's the Master.
Yeah.
The Master doesn't give a fuck about that shit.
He doesn't, but he does give a fuck about his own existence.
Oh, yeah.
And if he went back and
true.
changed things, he might wipe himself out of existence.
Hmm. The better explanation I had for this that immediately fills in the plot was that Clara stopped him at every opportunity over those 77 years.
You just any excuse to bring Clara back. Any excuse to
Hey,
bring Clara
I
into
didn't
this.
come up with it. I didn't come up with it. Someone else did.
Any excuse to bring Clara up on this podcast. You take it. Also, was the 77 years a nod to the curse of fatal death, or am I crazy?
I that definitely feels like cribbing another Moffat joke.
That seemed like just a subtle nod. Well, not even a subtle nod, just a nod and a wink to that particular moment. That particular parody.
Mm.
Let's get then to the big revelation and to the day being saved. So we find out what Barton and the Kassavan have been up to.
Hard drives! We need storage space, motherfucker!
Why? This is the biggest problem. This is the biggest problem I have. Yeah, okay, he explains what the Kassavan's plan is. He never explains the motive.
They want to come over. They don't like us. I don't. It's weird. Like it's a Bond villain super talk. Like, here's my grand plan. Done as a TED talk. Like,
yeah. I did like his speech.
Social media
I did like Lenny Henry's speech about humanity giving tech companies total control of our data and then our lives.
Like, there's almost something to say there, but again, with the kitchen sink approach, it's kind of like Noor and Yat Khan, where it's like, this could have been its own point, but throwing it in as and then it just doesn't give it enough room to really resonate or breathe or anything.
I think this is the problem when you fit a £10 story into a £5 bag.
Yeah.
I'm talking about weight, not cost, by the way.
Yes.
I'm sure the episode cost more than £10 to make. I would hope it cost more than £10 to make.
Yeah. This isn't classic Doctor Who. What are you talking about? They have a budget now.
But my major problem is that the Doctor saves the day off screen.
It's wild. Also, for those of you keeping track at home, this is another case where, like, Daniel Barton just gets away.
Yeah?
He just walks up. He's just like, "Get me my security," and he's gone. The doctor doesn't do
well, that
anything.
didn't work out. Peace out, motherfuckers. And
I don't know if Chibnall's planning to bring him back or not. It's kind of like
I think the door is open for a return if Sir Lenny Henry wants it. I think just like what's his face, Jack Robertson. That's who I was going to mention. Jack Robertson from Atlas in the UK.
Yeah, but like, I would prefer that the episodes be resolved instead of us having to sit here and go, well, that wasn't the greatest, but maybe Chibnall will do something with it. Like, how about you do something with it now?
Yes, but
you know,
it's crazy because he announced his plan in front of the entire world.
You've got 3 minutes.
He live streamed his own speech to the globe. Surely someone would go, we need to arrest that guy.
Like, he might. Yeah, I mean, and if you're talking about, like, shooting a bunch of scenes and then cutting them, like, if you have time to shoot an actual goddamn historical figure being shot by a firing squad of Nazis, you got time to have a cop arrest Lenny Henry for trying to destroy the human race.
Or even just a news bulletin saying that he's wanted by the authorities. That's all it takes.
This isn't a hard plot hole to fill up, unless you are planning something with. Again, it's a really weird thing where
I don't think he's coming back. I think the door's open for him to return, but I don't think he's actually. Mind you, we didn't think that the other people were coming back, and they did. So who knows?
Who knows? And, well, again, to go back, the Doctor does a thing off screen. I hacked your thing off screen. You're bye.
Show it. Chris, honey, you're still telling and not showing.
It's not great, to be honest.
It's
like you accept it. You go, oh yeah, okay, she did it.
But how?
Seeing it would be better.
But how?
Seeing it would be better.
She put a virus in it, which means that the Cassandra will bounce back to the home dimension. But 20 seconds later, they re-emerge and take the Master with them. What?
God.
It's just things happen for no real reason, with no explanation. I mean, the Master should have known by now that entering into an alliance with an alien race never ends well for him. So Chibnall got that bit right.
It's cliche at this point. I feel Chibnall is very, given Spyfall Part 1, he's very nostalgic for. He's got Bad Master, he's got Spy Thing, he's got stuff, and he's got the Master making an alliance with aliens. They turn out everyone betrays each other and everything bad happens to them.
Yeah.
We will see. We
will see Sacha Dhawan as the Master again.
Oh, it's guaranteed given the next bit we're talking about.
I mean, the only reason why he's put in that dimension is to basically keep him safely locked away until he needs to come back. He will be back. It could be at the end of the series. It could be in a future series. The question is, when will it be, and will we get any explanation other than, I escaped again?
Probably not.
I mean, I can think of two ways he could have easily got out of that dimension. One, he threatens to tear it apart with his bare hands until they let him go and take it back to his TARDIS. Or two, he shrinks the dimension around him and rips through it.
That's one way that works. I mean, you can plot holes. Speaking of the
again, that's taken me what, a minute to come up with?
Yeah. So what was the thing? I didn't think I.
Yeah,
what was that?
Well, we get to that in a moment. Firstly, Oof moment, the fourth.
Oh, right. Now I think I know.
The mind wipe.
Okay. Oh God. Oh, this is bad. This is not good. Just like given this and the stuff we're going to see later, it led people to question, Chris Chibnall, have you even seen Hellbent? Like, this is bad.
Have you seen Journey's End? Have you seen Series 10? Apparently not.
He's seen Journey's End. That's probably what he's pulling from. Oh no, I had the mind companion.
No, but there's a difference with that episode. The Doctor does it as a last resort to save Donna's life. Yes, it's against her will, but the alternative is that she dies.
That is still a non-consensual.
It's non-consensual, but at least there is a reason behind it.
That'll give you. There is
a justification of a sort. You could still argue that it's wrong.
Well, history might be a little fucked up, so I'm just going to do that. No, don't do that.
Yeah. Having successfully given Ada, and to a lesser extent Nor, agency in the episode, you then take it all away again.
And, like, you stand there over Ada. You can tell her that before you take her memories.
Yeah. She doesn't even apologize.
Christ almighty, it's like...
She just says bon chance to Nor. Well, that worked out. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that worked out. I mean, she does say the fascists don't win, but also, she's going to die in here. What's she going to do with that information? It's like...
On a general level, they don't win because they lose the war.
Messy.
On a personal level, yeah, they win.
It's not...
They kill
her. It's sort of actively face Moffat-era stuff that's brilliant. Like, again, Hellbent or The Pilot. And, well, that's going to be a big thing that I'm going to bring up as my grand conspiracy theory in our next segment.
Okay, so we have to bring this up. We put this up as long as humanly possible. Gallifrey, home of the Time Lords, is basically Schrodinger's planet now because it's gone again.
God.
Chibnall!
Good Christ. Like, where do we begin with this? Okay, let's go over the history of Gallifrey destruction and return of destruction. Gallifrey was destroyed originally, because, well, there was that big gap, the wilderness year. And Russell T Davies wanted, to anchor this big arc thing, clear out continuity, in a sense, and give this arc of the Doctor's last Time Lords. So Eccleston and David Tennant brooded over that for a fair bit. And that served that purpose, right?
Yeah.
It served its purpose as an arc. And Moffat decided for the 50th, this show is a successful show. I want to do something big for the anniversary. I'm bringing Gallifrey back. And it's like Doctor Who is the biggest thing on television right now. It's not a failed show that can be destroyed at any moment. I don't think the Doctor would destroy Gallifrey, so I'm going to retcon this shit and bring it back. And he brought it back. He didn't really do that much with it other than the Series 9 finale, but it was back.
That was enough. I mean, that's one of the greatest stories of all time in the modern series, so that was enough.
Yeah. What episode's that?
Heaven Sent and Hell Bent.
Thank you.
You don't catch me out that easily. You do not catch me out that easily.
Yeah, good. But yes, those were very, very... And they brought Gallifrey back, if only briefly, to explain the whole thing. It's outside the universe. But then we get to Chibnall. Gallifrey's destroyed. Why? Well, we don't know yet. But it has something to do with, of all fucking things, the timeless child mentioned in the Ghost Monument.
It wasn't a throwaway line after all!
He bullshits. And there's this line from the Master about the dark ancient secret and their forbidden path. And I'm like, look, Russell T Davies had his reasons. They were the art. Moffat brought it back. It was a big thing, symbolic. Doctor Who. I don't know what the hell Chibnall's doing, but I can't see it being that, innovative or revolutionary or anything. I mean, the Time Lords have a deep, dark secret. That's, cliche at this point.
It could be interesting. It depends where he takes it.
I've been good enough to give Chibnall that in most places, but I will eat humble pie if it actually turns out to be this amazing revolutionary thing. I just think it's not that great. It doesn't sound that great. Oh no, there's a big dark secret from the big whoop. The Time Lords are assholes. We already knew that.
Yeah.
And there was another article or something. I think it was a positive review of Spyro 2. Now it's giving the Doctor a dark and deep, brooding backstory, and she does dark and deep things like non-consensual mind wipe. Since when did our heroes have to be dark, brooding assholes?
And here's the kicker about this whole Gallifrey is gone again storyline. Chris Chibnall's had this in his head for a long, long time. It turns out he's been wanting to do this since he was a child himself.
Which raises a lot of interesting similarities. Chris Chibnall famously was on a 1986 public program called Open Air.
Oh God, don't remind me.
Yeah, he was talking about the finale. He was on with a bunch of other Doctor Who fans talking about the finale of Colin Baker's second season, The Trial of Time, and they didn't really like it. But Chris Chibnall was saying to Pip and Jane Baker, the writers of the final phases, that Terror of the Vervoid is this very cliche thing that we've all seen before. And I thought of that in conversation with this because Gallifrey's destroyed, the Master's bad, the Time Lords have a deep dark secret. It's there's nothing really that innovative here with this arc. We've seen it all before.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just it's like Davies era leftovers in a way. And the real weird kicker for me is there's just all these little moments. They're kind of bad in isolation, but when you put them all together, they're almost disturbing erasure, or not quite erasure, maybe even ignoring the Moffat era. Gallifrey's destroyed again, the Master's bad again, non-consensual mind wipes are on again.
Yeah, it's undoing the happy-ish ending that Moffat gives Gallifrey.
I don't like that. look. I know the Moffat era went down in ratings and all that. I know Chibnall's trying to get it back in, but it might not be a critical darling, but I love it, and I don't like to see the show I like actively working against the things I like. Build your own thing, of course, but like this is just kind of just wiping away what I felt was good for Chibnall's own vision.
I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit, though, because although I'm not really happy with the decision
Can I devil's advocate for one moment, too? There's something the Moffat era did do in one spade against the RTD era. You remember a little episode called Victory of the Daleks?
Oh, God.
You remember how the whole idea, the plot of the Doctor not being able to convince Winston Churchill the Daleks were bad?
Yeah.
Literally stemmed from the fact that Amy Pond does not remember the Stolen Earth and Journey's End.
Yep.
I mean, Moffat didn't write that one, but I have a feeling that either Gatiss had the idea and brought it to Moffat, proved it, or Moffat had Gatiss put it in the script when he was like as a showrunner.
You're forgetting one very important thing, though.
Oh, what am I forgetting?
Davies and Gatiss and Moffat were all very good friends.
Okay.
There is no real suggestion that Chris Chibnall has that relationship with any of the three of them.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, I'm sure Moffat did it in good faith, but the point of the matter is, it's not like I'm not trying to say, oh, the Moffat era was blameless and Chibnall's just going to wipe it off. The Moffat era did it too, in respects.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can devil's advocate your way.
I think every showrunner, the work of every showrunner that comes on, kind of has to retrospectively retcon a little bit of the previous showrunner's work, just by nature, as they establish a new status quo, as they establish a new set of guidelines and rules.
Certainly, the portrayals of the Doctor, at least, also do that.
I mean, this is a show that's now 57 years old now.
50, yeah.
Will be 57 in September.
November.
In November. I'm a fan of the show, I promise you. We'll be 57 years old in November. It's only to be expected that certain parts of the continuity are going to be changed over time, are going to be forgotten over time. But the Moffat era only happened 2 years ago. It only ended 2 years ago.
Like, Missy's last appearance, it may have been 2.5 years ago, but it was only 12 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And now, all of a sudden, we're like, Oop.
We don't know where he fits into the Master's timeline, the Sasha Dewan incarnation. And
I don't trust Chibnall.
Here's my devil's advocate. I am happy we're getting a series-long arc again. I am. I like series arcs. I like having a running thread through the episodes. I like all that. It has to be handled right, but I like that. At a base level, I like that. Right?
I mean, it's better than the wet fart of Battle of Ranskorav Kolos, where nothing happened.
Yeah.
So if you're building
I don't count that as a narrative thread, because it was just, episode 1, Tim Shaw's here, and he gets defeated, and Tim Shaw's here again, episode 10. But it wasn't announced, or it wasn't built up to.
That wasn't an arc, just a thing that happened.
Absolutely. I will forgive Gallifrey getting 86'd again if it leads to somewhere interesting. And it might. We don't know what the future will bring.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it will, but I don't know.
I'm skeptical, but it's possible.
And I mean, you have the fact that the Master destroyed them because of the Deep Dark Secret.
And this is where I think you get your explanation for why he's evil again.
Because of the arc?
Let's just suggest, let's just, for the moment, assume he does come after Missy. How her survival after being shot in the back by her previous self.
She escaped.
Fine. So, at this point, she's died. She's come back to life. She's regenerated. So she's already not in the best mental state, is she?
True.
She comes back to Gallifrey, he comes back to Gallifrey for whatever reason, which is not explained yet, and he finds out that everything he thought he knew about himself, about his race, about his home planet, is a complete fabrication.
Okay.
You're telling me that wouldn't set you off the deep end if that were you.
Okay, I can see where you're coming
And bear in
from.
mind that he's not the most stable anyway. And what happened the last time he redeemed himself? He died. He didn't just regenerate, he actually died.
Okay.
He came back, he got better, but he died. So he thinks to himself, what's the point of being good? If I'm good, then I just die. There's nothing in it for me.
I can see where you're
And there you are. In 90 seconds, I've just explained how he could possibly, A, come after Missy, and B, revert back to evil type. You're welcome.
I'm gonna bring up a thing I've been meaning to bring up for a while here. I can buy that if that's the explanation, Rainiac. I just wish the Doctor had something to say.
Yes.
But it turns out someone did give the Doctor something. In the 13, and this is a tweet image from @TeamGangFam on Twitter.
Of course, that would be the name of the account, but yeah, it's on the screen right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's on the screen right now.
Look at that second panel. Look at that line. She was doing so much better. That's all I really wanted from Spyfall Part 2. That's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Just to see... I wish Jodie Whittaker got to act it. Just seeing the Master. She tried to redeem so hard, going back to evil, and just imagining her delivering the... What happened? You were doing so much better. Like, that would have been just great, amazing. That's all I wanted.
You could have included that instead of one of the scenes with Nor. You could have included that instead of one of the scenes with the companions.
You could have included that on the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And then that could lead into the Gallifrey stuff, you know?
But hell, that's the perfect time to include it. You're right.
What happened to you? You were doing so much better.
Yeah.
But and again, it's like this conspiracy ignoring the Moffat era. It's like, are you just forgetting it because you don't want to do it, or are you forgetting it because you want to pretend it never happened and bring people back and saying, look, it's like the old Davies era, just back in 2007 when the show was popular. Like, you can't psychoanalyze the meaning. All you have is the absence of it.
Absolutely.
But that's all I was let down by that, but that line from that comic is all I wanted.
Mm-hmm. You make a very good point.
And I think that'll do it for the episode.
Well, we've slammed that to pieces, but here's the weird paradoxical thing.
It's not bad.
In terms of the implications, I don't like the scene that much because, okay, Gallifrey's gone again. It might be somewhere interesting. It might not. We don't know. But in terms of pure acting, I think this scene was my favourite of the episode.
I can see that.
Just the much softer side to Sacha Dhawan's Master. I mean, yes, he's talking about how he destroyed his home planet and everyone on it, but he almost sounds not apologetic, regretful, like he had to do it, like he had no choice. And he probably feels in his twisted brain that he had no choice.
Exactly.
That's really good, and of course,
we'll find out what that choice is.
A classic kick in the dick at the end. I tell you more, but why would I make it that easy for you? I love that. That's good characterization.
That is good.
That gets across his spitefulness. That gets across his madness. And if he comes back for the finale, this is all explained, I won't be against it.
Well, I'm not going to say I won't be against it. I'll explain. We're going to have to see what the explanation is.
And I've deliberately not speculated, by the way, on what the Timeless Child is or what it might mean. I want to be surprised.
I have no idea either.
I want to be entertained, but I want to be surprised. So I'm not looking at any spoiler sites. If there even are spoilers for this thing, I don't believe there are, but there might be nearer to broadcast.
Chibnall era with spoilers released?
Yeah. Which is why I'm still baffled that the Master's return didn't get leaked out by anyone.
It got leaked out on this side of the pond by your...
And the final thing that we get before the episode ends is kind of the good side effect of that whole scene where I destroyed Gallifrey and because I had to, because they lied to me. We finally get the 13th Doctor telling her companions she's a Time Lord.
Okay.
What took you so long, Chris Chibnall?
You were that afraid of the lore in Series 11.
Yeah, it felt like an iconic moment. It did.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as good as the scene from Voyage of the Damned where he says that, but
It's not as good as the scene Flatline on the dock. Is it Flatline? On the dock.
which one's that? I'm the Doctor and I save people.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's the girl who died.
That's pretty iconic.
Yeah, Flatline is very good, and it's the same writer, of course.
Flatline is a very good "I'm the Doctor" scene.
Which is not even delivered by the Doctor at first. One's by Clara, and then the one where he says, "You are not welcome here. I am the Doctor, and I name you the Boneless." I love that. I get chills still watching that.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that whole episode's so good.
It is.
But we finally get a mention of Time Lords and Gallifrey and the constellation of Kasterborous, etc., etc. It feels like an iconic moment, and it leads to a heartbreaking bit where I think it's Yaz says, "Can we visit your home planet then?" She goes, "Another time." And the final shot of the episode is just this look of her looking lost and sad, and it's a punch in the gut.
God.
And I don't think this is going to necessarily lead to a darker Doctor again.
But, like, he's definitely courting the Tennant Eccleston, last of the Time Lords, lonely god.
Well, we know she's not the last of the Time Lords because the Master exists.
Well, we knew that as a
And by the way, there is one thing that I think Chibnall could do, and I'll touch on it a bit more as the weeks go by. But he destroyed Gallifrey and everyone on Gallifrey.
Mm-hmm.
But there were people that were not on Gallifrey, and that could be a really interesting way to go.
Yeah, but
I'll just say it right now. If this somehow leads to the return of, say, Rassilon, and he thanks the Doctor for exiling him off world because he survived because of it,
I don't think Chris Chibnall seen Hellbent.
No, I don't think he would do that, but if he did, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
It'd be wild, but I don't think he's going to do it.
No, I don't think he will either.
Strain this fire.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but I just felt the need like I had to. I don't think she's going to go darker because guess what, guys? All you say, we need a darker Doctor. You had a darker Doctor. His name was Peter Capaldi, and you shat on him from a great height.
It's wild to think that, but I usually go against darker Doctors, but Peter Capaldi is my favorite one.
And then he mellowed out a bit for Series 9, and you all shout at me again. Good job.
Yeah.
Basically
Nice
found
work.
them, you're the reason we can't have nice things.
I mean, that's the case with all fans.
Yeah. I'm really pushing my luck here, so should we get to the overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts?
Before I get blackballed from the Discord, the EP Discord.
Overall thoughts. Who went first last time? Was it me?
It was you, but you're the guest, so please go first again.
Like I said, it was on broadcast, a really fun ride that kept me guessing and kept me entertained. I genuinely had fun with it on broadcast. The problem comes when you have to sit down and then think about it for writing and for podcasting. Because it just has one too many little niggling elements to it. Be it the extremely problematic parts, or the parts that actively fly right in the face of my personal favorite of the show. All of that tied together with the setup for an arc that I don't have the most faith in means that Spyfall Part 2 is not the best in the world. Not terrible, but not really great.
Yeah. Yeah, very well said. I think good but not great are my thoughts on this.
Basically.
It's not as enjoyable as Part 1. Some elements of the plot are left frustratingly underexplained, despite the fact this was over an hour in runtime. But there are positives, mostly in the acting. Sacha Dhawan excels as the Master yet again. Jodie Whittaker gives perhaps one of her best performances to date. Sylvie Briggs does great as Ada Lovelace. She's a great addition to the cast. Aurora Marion, not so much, but that's not really her fault. She's not given very much to work with. We have an arc for the series again, for better or for worse, as we've discussed, probably for worse. And I am looking forward to see what unfolds in the rest of Series 12. Plus, no more Chris Chibnall for 6 weeks.
That's great.
It's all guest writers now until the finale.
I'm looking forward to? You want to know what I'm looking forward to?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next week where Kat comes back and tells us how wrong we are.
I thought you were going to say you're looking forward to next week when we review Orphan 55.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that too because
and I know why you're looking forward
to
to it. Because of who's written Orphan 55.
Ed Heim.
Ed Heim. It takes you away.
Writer of the... Yeah, I'll say it's the best of last year.
The utterly bonkers, utterly brilliant It Takes You Away.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. It's like... It's a very close race between Demons of the... It Takes You Away.
I think... Demons got all the critical acclaim, but for me, I prefer It Takes You Away.
Yeah, It Takes You Away has a shitload of mirrors.
And not just because I feel really awkward about the Raj.
Oh, God.
I do feel really awkward about the Raj when I watch that episode, but that's not the only reason I prefer It Takes You Away.
Mm-hmm.
Demons needed to happen. I certainly needed to happen, but It Takes You Away is just a great episode with some great themes, some really good acting, some really creepy concepts and monsters, and it just edges it over Demons for me.
So what do we know from the preview?
We know that there are 2 major guest stars. Laura Fraser, who's perhaps best known for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and James Buckley, who's best known for The In-Betweeners, which was a British comedy sitcom that became a film about a bunch of unruly school kids played by like 20-somethings. It's daft. The episode's set in Tranquility Spa, or on Tranquility Spa, which we don't get too much information about, but it appears to be the future, looking at the outfits and the general setting of the episode. And there are some really, really scary monsters in this one.
Ooh.
We don't see the monsters in the trailer at all. It's just a hand. That's not a sidekick, it's just your hand. But no, we just see like an alien hand coming around the corner. And sometimes with scares, less is more, as you know.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've got faith that he's going to absolutely terrify us and also entertain us at the same time.
I mean, I trust him from It Takes You Away, so I'm going to roll
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not going to mention him by name. I've seen the next 3 episode titles as well, and they could be really fun as well.
I think I spied 2 of those. I don't remember 5 off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but
we've got
4 is a really fun title.
I love the title for 4, but we'll get to that next week.
Yeah,
when we do the next time for Orphan 55. So all that remains then is to thank you, the audience, for listening to us talk / rant about Spyfall Part 2. / complain a lot about Spyfall Part 2. Thank you to FreezingInferno for joining me to rant / complain about Spyfall Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And next time, hopefully Kat will be back, and we'll talk about Orphan 55. Until then, bye for now.
Trans rights.